Good morning, guys, and welcome to take 3 or 4 of our session 2 for our nutrition overhaul. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to rehash a little bit of what we covered last week, and we're going to start implementing some rules so we understand what our nutrition rules are, and that will help us lead into starting to make our own meal plans. So last week we covered off quite a broad range of topics. The key one being don't eat to calories, eat to your macros. Okay, because when we focus on eating low calorie meals, we get very nutrient bland or not very nutrient dense food. So we can still have 2,700 calories of junk food a day, but that's just going to be full of unhealthy fats and heaps of sugars, as opposed to hitting our daily macro count, which is our required amount of fuel, and it's still being 2,700 calories. So we don't eat to calories. We use them as a gauge to make sure we're eating the right amount of fuel per day, but we make sure that whatever makes up those calories is whole foods. The other one is that we want to eat to performance. We don't want to eat to weight loss. We don't want to eat to anything that makes us feel bad or good. We want to make sure that we understand what we need to be eating each day so that we get optimal results. So for some people, the biggest challenge with eating that much stuff per day is understanding that eating 4 to 5 meals a day of a smaller portion size is going to get you better results than 1 to 2 meals, which are a bit bigger, which leave you snacking and craving and hungry throughout the day. So understanding what you need to be eating, and you're trying to eat for performance. So I've got 7 rules for us today to start following and start using as a guide as we move forward. Now, the thing about our nutrition is that it's there's consistency over time. So you want to be eating the same foods or the same variety of foods at the same timings, similar timings, consistently over time. It's just like a savings plan. You can't save all your money one week and spend it all the next. Your body needs that regular intake of fuel, okay, and you topping it up regularly throughout the day is really important. So rule number 1 is protein is king. Out of the 3 macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs, protein is king. You need protein to get stronger, to develop lean muscle mass. Hair and nails are all attached to it. Your immune system's linked into your protein sources, and all sorts of stuff. So number 1 rule is that we want to be having protein with every meal. A protein source. Meat, dairy like cottage cheese, eggs, legumes to a small amount and stuff like that. You want to make sure you've got a palm-sized protein source with each meal. Now, if you're only eating 3 to 4 times a day, you might need a smaller size. And if you're eating 5 to 6, so if you're eating 5 to 6 times a day, you'll need a smaller source. If you're only eating 3 to 4, you might need a bigger plate on there. But general rule of thumb with your protein source is the size of your palm is as big as it needs to be. Okay, so if you're going out for dinner and you're going for a surf and turf and you get a big ass steak, that's fine, but you're not going to come home and make those out 4 or 5 times a day. So just a protein source the size of your palm is all you need. The second thing with your protein is to grab a protein shake. Okay, protein shakes are very quickly absorbed into the body. They're a great top up to make sure you're reading your daily macro count for your macros, but they're an ample fuel supply very, very quickly before and after each workout to give the body the nutrients it needs so it can start doing its job. Okay, so make sure you've got a protein shake before and after your workouts, and you've got protein with each meal. Second one is to eat often. Now, the easiest way I can explain what I mean by eat often is that if you're driving your car and you're a delivery driver, okay, you're going to need to top your fuel tank up quite often. But if you're like a retired senior citizen and you're just driving to bingo twice a week, you don't need as much fuel. Your body's exactly the same. So if you're active, if you're training in the morning, you're training at the night, and you've got a big day, and you've got kids, and you've got work and all that, you're going to need to have regular fuel stops to make sure you're optimized and you're performing well throughout the day. Okay, so if you're a breakfast person and you have your 3 eggs, your 1 piece of toast, and your avocado with a bit of cheese for breakfast, okay, and that's at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, you're going to need to eat something about 2 or 3, 4 hours later, more around the 2 to 3 hour mark, because you're going to burn through that fuel. Okay, your body doesn't care that you just had a big meal at 6 o'clock and it's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What it really cares about is how many kilometers you've done and how empty your fuel tank is. So you want to be eating often. 3 to 4 times a day is perfect. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a snack or 2. Now, an easy way to figure out whether you need a snack or you need to up your calories or increase your meals is how you feel in the afternoon. If you get 2 o'clock-itis and in the afternoon you start falling asleep, and when the kids get home you're grumpy and you're irritable and things like that, they're signs your body's running low on fuel. So we want to be able to fix that. The same thing is that if you're not getting much performance in the gym, if you're not dropping body fat, if you're not getting stronger, it's always going to be related straight back to your nutrition to start with, because you're either doing the work, especially if you're in our gym, you're doing the work, but you're not supporting the recovery that your body needs with your nutrition. And turning up to the gym is the easy bit. It's nailing your nutrition is the hard bit. And we want to really spend some of our quality time learning what to do and what to eat, because this is the information that's going to take us for the rest of our life. Eat healthy fats. Don't avoid fats. Your brain is only fueled on fats. All of your cell membranes are cushioned by fats. All sorts of body functions on there. So eating healthy fats per day. A good rule of thumb in the amount of fat you should have per day is about the size of your thumb. Okay, that's of healthy fats. Healthy fats are like avocado, peanuts, oils, and stuff like that. Unhealthy fats are the things we deep fry stuff in, and like the chocolates and stuff like that. Those are unhealthy fats. So eating healthy fats a day is really important. If you're having a salad, put some nice olive oil on there. If you've got avocado with your meal and graze on your nuts, that's fine as well. Getting a roughly small amount of 30 to 80 grams of fats per day is really, really important. Rule number 4 is to learn to manipulate your carbs. Now, I like this rule as my favorite, because I can survive. If I'm training in the afternoon, I can have light meals. So I can have like a chicken and salad, or tuna and salad with maybe a slice of bread or a bread roll throughout the day. But 2 hours before my training, I can have a really big meal. So I can have like a roast veggie style meal 2 hours before training, because what I know is that with those carbohydrates and that fuel is going to be in my bloodstream during the workout. I'm going to be able to use that as well. After my workout, I can do exactly the same thing. I can have another post-workout dinner, which can be almost at the same size, because I know my body's getting depleted of glycogen and energy, and it's going to convert that very, very quickly. So manipulating your carbs. We can do that obviously like I do. I do it around my meal timing, but you can also manipulate the carbs that you have throughout the day, so that if you wanted to drop a bit more body fat, you could drop it down by 10% over day and reduce the portion sizes per meal. Manipulating your carbs is a really, really tricky situation to be in, because you need to have a good, strong foundation on where your nutrition profile is. So if you're not eating properly already, if you're already under-eating or over-eating, don't try and manipulate your carbs, because you haven't got the foundations down for your body to be happy with what it's doing. Rule number 5 is manage your calories as a total, but not as a guide on what you should be eating per meal and per day. So I don't want anyone coming in and saying, well, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I better have some afternoon tea. I'm going to go and grab some rice crackers and I don't know what else, like rice crackers and cheese, because the rice crackers are low in calories. So I'm just going to have a low calorie meal. I don't want anybody to do that, because that's just dysfunctional, and it's not going to get you results. We use our calories as a guide on how big our meal should be. If you're eating 4 to 5 times a day, it's still a 300 to 400 calorie meal you're going to have at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, if we're having 4 meals a day and we need 2,000 calories, they're 500 calorie meals that we need to be having, and that's the only way we want to gauge whether that's the only way we want to manage our calories. If we're only allowed to have 500 calorie meals and we go and have a KFC double zinger burger, and that's a 900 calorie burger, that's 400 calories over on one meal. Okay, so your daily has gone up to 2,400. Okay, so on the other side of the coin, if you've got to have 500 calorie meals and you go and get a 100 calorie yogurt, you're 400 calories shy on what your body needs on that meal timing. So your calories are a guide to make sure you're eating enough. I don't want you to try and eat down to them, if that makes sense. Rule number 6 is drink your water. Now, your body's 75% water, and we all know that. We all understand that we need to drink much water. But things that can be affected through dehydration is performance in the gym. It's motivation, enthusiasm. It's recovery. Okay, it's an increase in stress in your body. It's an increase in risk injury profile. So if we're stressed, our muscles are a little bit more tighter. They're not as fluid and flexible as they normally are, so we can get really, really tight. We also can't generate as much strength and power with dehydrated muscles, because they're just not really working as well as they should be. Think about dehydration on a muscle the same as rust on a bike chain. So if we don't use our bike chain very, very often, it starts to get a bit dry, starts to get a bit rusty. And once we oil it up and we maintain it, it flows around the wheels better. Your muscles are exactly the same. And hydration is essentially the oil that goes into those muscles to make sure they're working well. So you need to drink your water per day. And our rule is 1 litre for every 25 kilos of lean body mass, and then an extra litre per day on the days that you train. Now up here in Cairns, you should have no problems going through that because it's stinking hot by 11 o'clock in the morning and we're already drinking our water. So if you're thirsty, if you're not peeing 2 to 3 times a day, you're not drinking enough water. But also, if you want optimal performance, optimal weight loss and strength gains, stay hydrated. Rule number 7, and the final rule for today, which is similar to what I did before, is your pre and post meals. Now, a lot of the time we focus on getting up. We either train early in the morning or we train late in the evening. Okay, not many of us get to train in the middle of the day where we can meal time around, so our body's got ample amount of fuel. Now, if your pre and post meals are basically the top up at the fuel station for you to put in an extra amount of kilometers on your car. So that means that you want to make sure your fuel tank's full before you start training. Now, we do this in a couple of ways. We do pre and post meals, and we also have a pre and a post shake. Okay, so for where we are at the moment, I just want everyone to focus on their pre and post meals. So your pre-training meal, 40 to 50 grams of carbs, 30 to 40 grams worth of protein, and 5 to 10 grams worth of fat. That's pretty much it. It's basically a homemade steak burger. Okay, 2 to 2.5 hours before training. Okay, you can go 1.5 to 2 hours depending on how quickly you can digest and what type of workout you're going to go. But I know on heavy lifting sessions, I like to have a good solid 2 hours before training that I've had a good solid meal. And the other thing is I take a pre-workout as well. My pre-workout routine will start about 35 to 40 minutes before I start lifting as well during my warm-up phase. So my pre-workout meal, 2 hours-ish, 2 to 2.5 hours before you actually start moving. Okay, and it needs to be a good dose of carbs, proteins, and fats. Think of it as just a stop up at the service station before you hit Townsville. You check your tyre pressure, wash your windows down, you make sure the fuel tank's full. That's exactly what you're doing before you go into the workout. Have a good solid meal so that you can hit the gym and you can hit it hard, because if you can hit the gym harder, you get better results. The next thing, now post-workout training. Now post-workout training is really important because you've gone and emptied the fuel tank, and now all of the body is craving replacing macronutrients, replacing glycogen in the body. It needs protein for new muscle fibers and a whole range of new things. So if you don't eat post-training, you've done a big strength training workout, your body's craving and you're not giving it the tools it needs to do its job. So post-workout meal, the same thing again. 30 to 40 grams worth of carbs, 30 to 40 grams worth of protein, and 5 to 10 grams worth of fat. So over a 4.5 hour window, if we're training at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're eating at 2, we're training at 4, we finish at 5, we're eating again by 6:30. Okay, now that window there is going to make sure that you perform well in the gym, you get all of the reps in, and you do everything at your best possible level. Your post-workout is going to make sure your body's recovered, so you're not sore and tired, and your body's got the ingredients it needs to start getting you stronger, start stripping down body fat. Inside those two windows is your pre and post-workout shake. Now, we just get a simple one for you. We get the pre-workout shake that's got all the ingredients in there. Some of the guys have stepped up, and we've got a new mix in there, which has got creatine and beta-alanine in there. And then our post-workout shake, which is fast digesting carbs, which is a mix of protein and I know Ginny uses the Edge, which is a hydration drink, which is 30 grams worth of carbs. So quick digesting foods are the key in your pre and post-workout shakes, because you want them into the bloodstream very, very quickly. Real meals, pre and post-workout solid meals, okay? So if we're training at 4, we eat at 2, we eat at 6:30. And those are meals that you should feel proud to eat and know what you're eating them for. So I know that I eat my afternoon meal, and I don't mind if it goes a little bit over, because I know I'm going to burn through some extra reps. I know I'm going to need the energy. What I don't want to do is I don't want to try and cheat the system and go, well, I'm just going to skip that pre-workout meal because I want to burn extra calories. It doesn't work like that. You burn more calories being in a healthy, performance-based state than you do from being in a malnutritious or starving or underfed state and dehydrated. So, like I said in the first one, your nutrition is performance-based, not goal-based, if that makes sense. You want to perform better, and when I talk about performance, we're talking about mental and emotional performance, we're talking about physical performance as well. So we need to get those things down pat first, because if those things don't ticked off, then everything else is becoming harder. If you're training in the gym and you're not eating well, then you're going to be emotionally stressed outside of the gym. You're going to make poor choices when you're starving and you're craving foods. You're going to feel guilty about making those poor choices. You're going to come back to the gym. You're going to try and work harder now on an empty stomach. You're going to get upset that you can't work harder, and you're going to go home and punish yourself with a box of Tim Tams. You're going to feel bad that you punished yourself with some Tim Tams, so you're not going to eat again the next day. You're going to come in the gym and try to do it again, and you're just going to get me looking at you going, why the fuck aren't you eating? Because that's what's wrong. That's what's happening with what's going on. So your nutrition is really, really important. Okay. So these 7 rules: protein, eat protein every meal, use a shake, eat often. Okay. Eat healthy food, eat healthy fats. Don't avoid them. Manipulate your carbs. Watch your calorie total. That's the only time we need to watch calorie. Drink all of the bloody water, and your pre and post workout meals are key. Okay. Out of everything that you eat per day, your meals around your training should be where you start focusing your energy on. All right, I hope that helps, and it's taken me a few goes to get this one right, but we'll get there. Those are the 7 rules. So what I want you to do is I want you to start implementing those rules in the way that you make your meal plan. Now, to get your nutrition down pat, you have to allocate time. Okay, you can't do living without eating. So it's worthwhile, in your best interest, for your mental health, for you feeling better as a person, for you performing better in all areas of your life, to allocate quality time in your day and in your week to make sure you're eating the right amount of food. Now, whatever your lifestyle is in terms of what type of work you do, whether you're a shift worker, whether you're unemployed, whether you're working 10-hour days, there is 100% an opportunity for you to take care of yourself and to find those windows to get those meals in so you can be better and do better at what you want to do and how you want to live. The same thing with your meal prep. If it takes you half a day on Sunday to prep all of your meals for the entire week so that you've got the right nutrients, so you're doing the right things by your body, you're fueling yourself properly, then just skip whatever you do on half a day of Sunday and just put it together so it's all done. You need to prepare and you need to be present in your own life, taking care of yourself so that you can get the results you want to get. And it's just discipline and dedication and consistency. Do your meal prep on Sunday. Have them all ready to go. So you've always got lunch in the freezer. You've always got dinner in the freezer so you don't have to cook every night. Breakfast can be something as simple as whole Greek yogurt with some granola and some berries on there. Your snacks can be a protein shake or a protein bar and some trail mix. And then your 3 solid meals are just your meat and your vegetables with a little bit of fat. Pre-make those so it's just ready to go so you don't have decision fatigue during the week when things when things are getting busy at work. So your meal prep is really important. All right, I hope that helps. Now, these we put these together to interact with you guys and to help you guys learn and understand, nail this down pat. So, questions. I need lots of questions from you. I'd like to see what you're doing with your meal prep. Let's get some ideas about your food. Remember, we don't do a this is the only types of foods I want you to eat, when it's not like that at all. What we do want you to do is follow the meal plan you get given because it's already set out for you. There's a grocery list already there for you. Your meals your calorie total per meal is already sorted out. We've designed it so that if you eat 3 times a day or 7 times a day, you're still within your calorie window. Okay, and we can adjust it so that your meal time is before and after training, get your most amount of carbs in there. All of this stuff that we do in this nutrition stuff is the hidden key to getting your results. Every time you see a fitness model or an Instagram person or anyone on social media saying they finally hacked their body and stuff like that, all they did is they took Sunday to prep their meals, they stuck to their meal plan, and they didn't deviate from it for a consistent amount of time. Okay, so if you get your meal plan down pat and you stuck to it for 3 to 4 weeks, you would notice a dramatic result because your whole body would start operating and feeling a lot differently. Okay, you'd have a lot more energy to be able to perform at the gym, and then the feeling you're getting now, that tired and sluggish and that apprehension you're getting, that little fear that's stopping you from jumping in and going all in and getting your nutrition sorted and making it part of who you are, is all going to disappear because it's going to be replaced with wins. It's going to be replaced with you getting new PBs in the gym. It's going to be replaced with you waking up feeling amazing every day, having energy all day long, being energized around your family and around your kids. Your mental state's going to change. There's just no downside to eating the right amount of foods and really understanding how much food you can actually consume when it's whole foods. If you're like me and you like to eat, I like to have a big meal, but I like my meal to be full of flavour and whole foods as opposed to a calorie light meal like crackers and stuff like that. All right, so I hope that helps. I hope you guys get involved. We want more interaction because it shows the love to us. And next week we're going to touch on a little bit more depth and a little bit more detail on prepping our own, creating our own meal plans.